Hello everyone, thank you for your patience as we were dealing with some technical issues. We didn't have those for a very long time and I kinda missed those, so yeah, finally something new, something fresh. Just like the new payment planner update that we have for you in store for tomorrow. Hello everyone, thank you once again for your patience and for tuning in. Hi Ron, hi Dan Valley, EDM Zombie, Carvapalo, Hex Dragon, Gold Links, A Rally, Oxley, Białko, Ethanol, Tebzy Shadow. Everyone, thank you for joining us today. If there are any issues with the sound, with video or else, please let us know. We were recently at a local event, City Action Expo. We moved all the PCs there and it turns out it kind of messed up our streaming setup, but hopefully everything is fine. Yeah, there's no Aaron today. My name is Łukasz, I'm community manager and I'm here with Michał.
Hello everyone.
Michał is our main and the only programmer, and he obviously didn't get the dress code that we always wear black t-shirts for streams, but hopefully next time.
Next time, yeah.
Okay, so without further ado, let's go to the game and show you what's coming in tomorrow's payment planner update. Yeah, that's the name of the update, because we are the main feature. Actually, we are going to talk about it in a few seconds. First, as you can see on the world map, there's a new black line. It's a difficulty ring. So this was one of the more requested features after we made changes to the cycle and introduced the seals. So as you know, right now, the further you go from the smoldering city, the minimum difficulty gets higher. So right now you can see where are the borders for each minimum difficulty zone. Yeah, this is enabled by default. I mean, it's always enabled, and it's also visible in the grid mode. So if you're playing with the grid, you should be able to see it as well. We were experimenting with multiple variations, with different shapes of the border, with different colors of the border, but for us it turned out that the simple black line with a small with a transparent outline worked best. But we are interested to hear what you think once you give it a try. And another thing that's been added in this, that's coming in tomorrow's update, is minimum difficulty listed in the tooltip.
Yep.
So when you hover over the tile, you will see the minimum difficulty. Is there anything else on the world map layer?
I think few changes to the particular events or their consequences, but nothing in general, nothing large. I think we could show right now here. So I think we can move to the game layer.
Okay, let's move on and let's show everyone the new payment planner.
Sure, I will pick Prestige 20 just to show it with exploration tags, as it's the most common payment in the game.
Yeah, because the payment might sound a little bit frightening, like what's going on, are we adding new payments? The payments have been in the game for a long time, and recurring payments. There's not many of those. Things like land tax, as Michał mentioned, and for many players it was difficult to track. We received many reports that that players were unaware why their resources are why are they losing resources. It was a bit hard to communicate to players why their resources are taken by by specific effects. So right now we are adding a new window that will help you manage the payments and make decisions, but you'll be able to see it in just a few seconds.
So you can already see that this window is not present from the very beginning, so it's not cluttering the UI either here or here. It will only become available if you have an active payment waiting to be paid. So can't see anything yet. From other changes, I think the most exciting one is the changes to the glades, the formats of the glades, because you could already found in the forest some particular glades that were different, that had a different layout than others, and the best example are the ruined villages. So they were like a bit crafted by hand, by Aaron. And so for this update, we thought that maybe we could introduce some new variants of those handcrafted glades. So one example would be a variant with a stormbeard nest in the middle. But I think it's something that we won't be able to show you because it's generated on the fly. But maybe we will encounter one. And the main goal is to further make the exploration a bit more interesting, a bit more surprising, and reinforce both the small glades and the forbidden glades, as the dangerous glades are a bit overwhelming when it comes to the amount of just open glades.
Yeah, this is one of the changes that wasn't mentioned in the today's Steam announcement about the live stream. So we are adding new glade layouts. So we're introducing some new diverse glades. I mean glade layouts, not glades. There are still 3 glades in the game. 3 types of glades.
Yep.
There are more
exactly.
Yeah. And while we wait for the first recurring payment, maybe do we want to use our special dev tools to spawn some payment already?
Sure.
I guess we are not going to play the full game today. So just to show you,
we are playing on Prestige 20, so we have a land tax, operation tax, but I think land tax, and it requires us to pay 2 amber or small glade and 6 amber for a large glade. And previously it was working instantly, like you either had the amber or not, and you were instantly punished if you didn't. So as Luke mentioned, it was a bit opaque. And now there is a special assistant to the Royal Treasurer who helps you track those payments and gives you a bit of the breathing room when it comes to the payment itself. So now the payments are tied to the seasons. So I've opened it at the beginning of the drizzle. So you have entire drizzle and clearance to open it, no, to pay it. Sorry. So it's if nothing changes to the season length, it will be 7 minutes 30 seconds, as you can see. And the storm season 1 at the beginning, you have to pay it. You can set it to automatic mode, either instant or last minute. So currently there is no auto payment. And I will have to pay it manually. If I, for example, skip to the next season, it will remind me that I have a payment that is due next season, right? Because it's a clearance year 1 and the payment is storm year 1. So it's telling me that I need to pay it or I will suffer the consequences. But I can also set it to instant, so it will automatically pay it for me. You can, by the way, set it in the settings. Oh, sorry, not here. So you can set the mode here, auto payment by default, to instant or last minute. And the second type is the, as you already guessed, last minute, which will basically stop you from basically pay it at the very end. So right now I have a situation where I have set it to last minute, but it's 6 amber and I have only 5. So the system is trying to tell me that I'm still missing some amber, and this payment, even though it's automatic, it won't be fulfilled. But if I add 1 amber, yeah, the notification is gone because your assistant to the Royal Treasure already knows that she will be able to pay it for you. So the payment will be due the drizzle is year 2, and if we jump to that season, she will automatically pay it for you, and you won't need to bother. So there is some flexibility. One of the strategies or maybe options we wanted to give you is to keep the payment altogether, because maybe you've decided you have some amber and you're stockpiling it and you want to buy something important, and you would rather thank the 2 villagers living or some impatient point or whatever. From whatever reason, you can decide not to pay it, right? You just set it to none and just wait and take the penalty. So those, like Luke mentions, those effects were already in the game. They were for quite some time, and there was a lot of feedback around them, so we've decided to finally address the feedback and give them a bit more, to make them less opaque, basically, to make them standalone feature, basically. It will also allow us to make some new effects, new payments, because we were always afraid of adding new payment effects because they were they were not very popular, and for the right reason. So this mechanic was a bit frozen, when it does have its place and it does have some interesting consequences, and now we can use it a bit more.
Yeah, so how many of those payments are in the game right now? Around 5, 6, something like that?
Something like that. I think there's the land tax is the most common one, but there's also a vassal tax, which is a bit similar, but now it will be changed. There is also a cloud burst, which was not very popular as well, and I think there was also the Fishman Soothsayer was built around the payment effect, but for this update we've decided to change him because his previous mechanic was not very well suited for the payment, for the new for the new payment system, basically, because one of the changes is that previously when you had the Soothsayer you could cancel him anytime you wanted, right? And the payment stopped, or you could finish him faster and the payments were gone as well, right? But with this system it would be when you have additional time to pay it, it really didn't fit that well with this mechanic, so we basically changed him, reworked him. He has new effects which we can go through later.
Yes, so you can expect that for now there will be, this window will probably be empty, like it will feel empty, but perhaps with time there will be new interesting effects that you can track there. But for now, we hope that this will be useful and will lead to less confusion when it comes to your resource sync. So another big or significant feature coming in the update is Cornerstone rebalance. So some of the cornerstones were rebalanced, not that many of them, I think 5 or 6. 5 or 6 were changed. We looked into the data and feedback that we got, and so we are changing Rebellious Spirit and we are adding a drawback. So now every time a villager dies, impatience is increased by additional 0.2 points. Another change is for protected trade. We increase the amount of amber required to trigger the hostility reduction from 25 to 30. Hidden from the queen, we also added a drawback. So now impatience will grow 600% faster after year 8. Burned to a crisp, this perk was promoted from epic to legendary quality without any numerical changes. Economic migration, we introduced additional positive effect. Now every level of standing also increases the amount of resources brought by newcomers by 10%. Force of nature, we buffed the numbers and introduced additional positive effect. Now this cornerstone increases stormwater production by +3 instead of +2 and increases tank capacity by 50. The Stormforge version was also buffed accordingly. So 6 changes to cornerstones.
Probably the most impactful are the changes to the rebellious spirit and the changes to the hidden from the queen. And we really didn't want to tweak somehow those perks to make them just worse on their own, to reduce their stats or something like that. We really, especially that some of them have no option to do that, we really wanted to make them a bit more situational, a bit more like reward the players who use them in the right way, right? So for example, the hidden from the queen is perfect for builds that make you murder your villagers and make you play recklessly, but we wanted to disencourage players from picking them every time, to make them a bit more optional and a bit more situational, without directly nerfing their good side.
Yeah, all the changes will be listed in tomorrow's update notes, so even if you didn't catch what we said or if you were late to the stream, as always, all the changes will be listed in the update notes. So I'm looking at the list of changes right now and checking what else, what are some other big changes. I think this update comes with a full number of UX features. So for example, when you open Ancient Hearth, you will see that in the sacrifice panel we added a very requested option to auto stop sacrificing after the storm ends. So yeah, if this was troublesome for you to remember that the hearth is still sacrificing, when you enable this feature, all sacrificing that you set will be stopped after storm. Michał, why don't you explain a bit more about this feature? Do you need to set those values every time, or how does it work?
So basically, we've added these features so you don't have to remember to disable the sacrificing after the storm if you don't want to, or if you just keep forgetting about it. And as most options like that, you can set the default value in the options under the gameplay tab. It's stop sacrifice after the storm.
There's a lot of checkboxes there.
Yeah. We gathered quite a lot of them. So I think for the most players it will be just convenient to have enabled all the time, but we've decided not to have it enabled by default.
So when the storm ends, all the values go to 0, and if you want to continue sacrificing, you need to set those values up to 3 again, right?
Yep.
It's not
basically.
It's not going to be set automatically every.
Oh yes. It's just for stopping the sacrifice. The game won't try to guess what would you sacrifice at the beginning of the storm or anything like that.
I love one of the comments. You guys have resources to sacrifice? Yeah.
At the very beginning.
Another cool quality of life feature is in the trading post. Also a very requested feature. Let's give Zork 70 seconds to arrive to the village.
Is worth waiting for. Okay, so this feature is autofilling the offer. There are two ways to interact with it. You can either open the goods you want to sell or buy, actually, and just click auto, and it will adjust the amount of offered goods to match the offer on the other hand, because you can use it on the both ways. So for example, if I put this and I want to buy as much, maybe that will be too expensive probably. Yeah. Oh, okay. Let's say we want to buy as much meat as possible for those 12 parts. Just click auto and it's done. So no more fiddling with this bar just to have it right. But what is even more convenient is that you can do the same with middle mouse button. So basically click on whatever you want and adjust the values. So it should be much more easier to trade exactly what you want to trade.
Oh, by the way, the new payments in the new payments window, the assistant to the royal treasurer is also a frog, and she and Zork may or may not be in a relationship.
It's canon.
Yeah. By the way, assistant to the royal treasurer, I guess some of you know the reference, the very popular comedy show. We love to share GIFs from it, or GIFs, whatever you call them, on our internal chat, so that's where the name comes from. Okay, so what else do we have in tomorrow's payment update? Let me see. By the way, if you have any questions, please type them in the chat and we'll do our best to answer. Preferably start with the ones related to the new features, and then we'll also have a short Q&A session when you can ask whatever you want. And as a reminder, if this is your first update, we are going to release it tomorrow between 1 p.m. UTC and 3 p.m. UTC. And the update will have to force finish your current settlement just to avoid any potential game-breaking bugs. And in return, you will get some Citadel resources that you'd normally get for winning. So we're always trying to be fair. Just remember that if you are chasing some unique deed and you're in the middle of the settlement, remember to finish it before the update goes live tomorrow. Question: Will the assistant to the royal treasurer comment when you choose to attack Zork?
Not yet.
Maybe one day she'll react.
But I'm not.
She'll increase your taxes.
I'm not sure if she would be mad or not. That depends on the state of the relationship.
True that. Okay. So of course we will also introduce plenty of bug fixes. Thank you, by the way, for reporting them. We always do our best to ensure the highest technical quality, but sometimes small bugs get in the way. By the way, I see that there was a question before we started the second stream, the one that was working. There was a question about GPU going hot. So whenever when you feel that the GPU is using too much resources, you may want to disable VSync and instead select max frame rate per second, because the game otherwise the game will try to use perhaps Michał, you would be
Yeah,
able
the refresh, like there are two ways to tackle it. Because nowadays people have different, both different GPUs and different monitors, displays basically. So if you have a display that has, like for example, 144 hertz per second, the game with the VSync enabled in the settings, which is monitor rate, basically that's the default, it will try to achieve basically 144 FPS per second. That is the default behavior of the games nowadays. So if you would rather not do it to your GPU, because the 144 is quite a lot for many GPUs, you can either slash it by half by setting half of the monitor rate, which in your case would be, if you have a 60 Hz display, it will be 30 FPS, or you can disable VSync altogether and just set it manually to whatever feels right to you. Also, there are like other settings that influence how much work GPU is doing. The easiest one and the most effective one is reducing resolution. The less pixels there are to draw, the less work the GPU has. But you can also just lower the graphic quality a bit. You can disable clouds, you can disable some post-processing like motion blur or depth of field, chromatic aberration. But the screen fog and the clouds will be the most valuable, and the resolution, of course. But by default, the game will try to reach your display refresh rate, which can, for modern displays, be quite a lot. Hence, your GPU will be hot.
It's also important to note that we'll continue to do our best to optimize the game, of course, so you can expect more improvements to the performance in future early access updates. There's always room for improvement in every aspect of game development. Okay, so we also have some additional questions. Will we get Ember for declining altar? That's because we already have Amber for declining cornerstones.
I don't think that will be ever an option, because like an altar is a mechanic that you need to sacrifice something permanent to get a boost, and for all the folks that are not yet ready to sacrifice anything, it will be just passive gain. Like there will be like 30 amber waiting here for no cost at all. So no, I don't think we'll add amber here. Yep.
Okay. Will we add a warning
Luke
in
was
the trading?
shocked.
No, sorry. Yeah. Will we add a warning in the training menu if the value balance between us and traders' goods, ours and trader goods, is too big? So
just to be sure, like if you, for example, put every good you have, you can't even trade. Like you have to pick anything, and then when you do, there are basically two big indicators that you are overpaying. The one is here, basically the values on both sides, and the second is here, so basically how much logarithmically you are overpaying. So I'm not sure if we need to, if we should add another layer of information.
I mean, this is a cool idea, of course, and we all love quality of life features. The thing is that we have so many of those ideas, and we many times we give it to you. Like you are able to influence what we are going to work on next, because we have this fancy feature requests board. If you are not aware, there's a board where you can vote on, where you can post your ideas and vote on other people's ideas that you care about. This is feedback.ermitegames.com. I will share the link in the chat. So basically, you don't need to set up any account to post your ideas. You don't need an account to vote. You can go there and let us know what you care about. And whenever we do our bi-weekly plannings, when we make plans what we are going to do in the next days for the next updates, we always look at the top features. And while the bigger ones, like I know Ron is going to say fishing content, water content, those are big ones and they need significant time for us to develop. But the smaller ones, like for example this warning, for example this warning in the trader, this I would consider it a smaller change, but still, yeah, so if it's high on the feature request board list, we'll for sure handle it.
Yeah, sure, like I sounded definitive, but feel free to post your feedback. Maybe there are other people who think just like you, and I'm just not aware how important or how problematic this is, and yeah, it can easily be changed.
Yeah, so many of the UL features that you see in the update notes, they are many times just taken straight from the feature request board. So we highly recommend checking from time to time what new ideas are there, and you know, of course, if you have your own ideas, post them as well. There was also a question regarding the altar, whether we are going to add an option to reroll Stormforge perks.
Not sure. I'm not sure. I can give you a definite answer. We thought about it, but the Forsaken altar is already overwhelmingly a great option. So we are not entirely sure if we want to buff it even further. Basically.
Yeah. Yeah. This requires some additional thought. It's hard to provide a specific answer during the stream.
It makes absolute sense. Yeah, I understand where you're coming from.
Okay, Michał, do you think there are some other big features that we should cover in this update? There are some smaller ones, like the brickyard is getting a bit of new look, like just a few things, and also Ghost Chest is getting a new mesh. But other than that, the payments planner, rebalance cornerstones, auto stop sacrificing, match the traders offer, those are probably the biggest changes coming in tomorrow's update. The full list of update changes will be listed in the article when the update goes live tomorrow between 1 PM UTC and 3 PM UTC. From other news, we also decided to, our publisher prolonged the Steam Summer Sale discount. So if you didn't get Against the Storm during Summer Sale, but you'd still like to get it, the discount was extended. Tomorrow in the update notes, we'll also share, we can already share that there will be a makeshift plushie of Beaver Villager. So in next month we will launch a crowdfunding campaign for a Beaver Villager plushie. So if you'd like to get one, there will be an opportunity. We will share a link in tomorrow's update notes. We are extremely excited about it because this is the first Against the Storm official merch. This is the first time we're giving you an opportunity to get something tangible, some physical gadget from the game, and we decided to go with Beaver Villager because it was chosen by the community. As always, back in a few months back, we asked you who would you like to see turned into a merchandise. So Beaver Villager was the top one, and so we are very happy. We're very excited that this finally that we will be finally be able to. We also, as developers, will be able to have some cool gadget from our game. Yeah, more news in tomorrow's update notes. The campaign will launch in August, and probably if the campaign is successful, because it all depends on the number of people who are willing to support it. If the campaign is successful, it will be shipped around late November, early December, so perfectly for Christmas. So if you can already plan your Christmas gifts early. Yeah, so those are the other big announcements outside of the game. I think we are going to finish. It's already been quite long, and I hope to share the recording of this live stream in tomorrow's update notes for everyone who couldn't be here to watch and learn what the new features are. So once again, thank you everyone for joining us today. Unless, Michał, you want to show something else.
Oh yeah, there's one heavily requested feature that we have to show. It's you can now choose to auto pause when the newcomer arrives.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. So thank
cool.
you once again for joining us today. Stay tuned for tomorrow's update notes. Make sure to finish your settlements and stay hydrated. Have a great day. And if we didn't manage to answer your questions, we check Steam discussions every day, Discord, Reddit. Feel free to ask questions there. Yep. Bye bye. Thank you once again for joining us, and have a fantastic day. Bye bye.